Gentlemen, one more thing. When you put your phones away when we start in about 5 minutes, please silence them so they will not go off in the middle of the ceremony. Gentlemen, if you can put your phones away and silence them. Okay. Good afternoon. I am Carlos Roman. Welcome to the 2023 National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. I am Carlos Roman, the faculty moderator of the NHS. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Sergio Caram, President of the National Honor Society, who will address you with a few words.
Good afternoon. Welcome, students, faculty, staff, and parents. Congratulations to the students on being inducted into the Strake Jesuits chapter of the National Honor Society. My name is Sergio Caram, and I'm a current senior and the president of the NHS this year. I've been a member of the NHS since my sophomore year, and I wanted to offer a few words of advice as you embark on your next years in this great organization. I'm going to give you all 3 pieces of advice that I would have loved to have heard when I was in your shoes just a few years ago. The first piece of advice: being here is a privilege. As the name suggests, being part of the National Honor Society is an honor, and it should be treated as such. Although NHS is by far the largest student organization we have on campus, membership is by no means guaranteed or a right, even once you have been inducted. It is important not to get complacent. Being a member of NHS is contingent on maintaining academic prowess and good conduct, both in and outside of the classroom. An NHS member is not just one who gets his hours done and walks out. Rather, an NHS member is a leader, a visionary in his community whom his peers look up to. Strive to be that leader. My second piece of advice is a more practical piece. Don't wait to get your hours done. This is more of a practical tip, but in my experience as both member and president, it is much more efficient if you get your hours done early and submit them early so discrepancies can be rectified. My recommendation is to get your hours finished this summer. Do a summer camp or volunteer at a food bank and get your hours out of the way quickly. So that way, when you come back for the first day of school, you're done with your NHS hours. My third and final piece of advice is to just enjoy yourself. I wanted to mention that being part of NHS has genuinely been one of the greatest parts of my high school experience. I've learned so much about myself and the meaning of service in the number of hours I've completed. And I've learned that doing service is more than just ticking a box. It involves giving yourself up fully to the cause you've devoted yourself to. There's a special feeling when you complete service. You feel more complete, more whole inside. I hope all of you will experience this feeling and much more in the years ahead. Thank you for listening, and congratulations once again on being inducted into Strake Jesuits chapter of the National Honor Society.
I want to thank the parents for their presence this afternoon and also those watching on live stream. It is an honor and a pleasure to celebrate the accomplishments of this group of young men. We're gathered here to formally recognize those students who have been selected by the Faculty Council for our school for successfully completing their candidacy and are being inducted as new members of a chapter of the NHS. For current members and those former members who may be watching, we hope that this will serve to remind you of the standards of excellence you too are charged with maintaining as members of the nation's oldest, largest, and most prestigious student recognition program. Our chapel is proud to have been inducting new members since 1964, and today's ceremony indicates the continuing emphasis on excellence that the NHS represents for our school and our community. Throughout the year, members of our chapter serve as role models for other students. In addition to the strong academic record that established your eligibility for membership, our chapter members are leaders in many student organizations, and they serve our school and community through many activities, including the Student Council and Key Club. Members and inductees have contributed with numerous hours of community service in different projects. NHS members excel in academics as well as in extracurricular activities. NHS contributes to the school in many different ways. We are proud of this record of accomplishment and welcome those new members who bring new energy in support of our continuing work as NHS members. Membership in the Crusader chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by these candidates through the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities that serve as standards for the Honor Society. We begin with scholarship. Scholarship denotes commitment to learning. Student is willing to study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for human education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life, which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learner furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, the torch guiding us to understand the present, and the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their work through the opportunities inherent in a scholarship. Second is service. Service can be established in the routine of a day's work, where many opportunities arise to help others both at school and in the community. A willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or public recognition is the quality we seek in our membership and promote for the entire student body. We're committed to volunteering our time and talents to the creation of a better tomorrow. Third is leadership. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence in the school. In taking initiative in the classroom and in school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to reach their common goals of success. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one person's interest for the interest of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a school community or a nation, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a meaningful and substantive charge to each of our members. The fourth quality is character. Character is the force within the individual that distinguishes each person from others. It creates for each of us our individuality, our goodness. It is that without which no one can respect oneself nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character that guides one through life and once developed, grows steadily within. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant thought and action, the daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be, in reality, what we wish to appear to others to be rather than to seem. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship, we may hope to prove by example that we value character. These four qualities are represented by the 4 white candles at our induction table. The central green candle represents the Christian ideals that are at the core of Jesuit education. The induction of new members is an important and joyful occasion. The new inductees are charged with the duty of inspiring our chapter to continue to uphold the principles of the society, which I just talked about: scholarship, leadership, character, and service, and to continue to develop the Jesuit ideals of becoming a loving, religious person who is open to growth, intellectually competent, physically fit, and committed to doing justice in our community. In accepting the invitation to join the NHS, you have indicated your willingness to give your best effort to carry out the principles of the National Honor Society. Yours is a great responsibility as well as a privilege. We need faithful and efficient leaders, and the Straight Jesuit community is looking to you to lead its students. Membership to the National Honor Society is one of the highest honors that can be awarded to a high school student. The National Honor Society strives to recognize the total student, one who excels in all areas. If the Crusader chapter is to be effective and meaningful, each member must be involved. Membership is more than an honor. It incurs a responsibility and an obligation to demonstrate those outstanding qualities that resulted in your selection. In a few minutes, you will pledge and uphold the values of the National Honor Society and those of your school. On behalf of the faculty of Straight Jesuit, I encourage you to take this pledge to heart, and likewise, I place to you our support and our care. At this time, will the new inductees please rise, raise your right hand, and repeat the pledge. Go. I, Carlos Roman, moderator of the Crusader chapter of the National Honor Society, accept your pledge. You may be seated. Remember to thank those who have helped you to get here, your parents, family, teachers, and friends. The new members of the Crusader chapter of the National Honor Society will now sign the official book of membership and then receive their certificates and their membership cards and pins. Inductees, please come forward.